It's Tuesday and it's time for Falcon Focus. Welcome to Falcon Focus, episode number 9 here in season number 5. We are presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My name is Matt Menzel. This week's edition and segment number 2, our focus will be on men's NCAA hockey. We'll be joined by one of their newcomers, a freshman goaltender in Blake Hazelton. But up first, our focus on men's basketball as they prepare for their home opener against MSOE here inside the John Book Fieldhouse on Wednesday. Tip time at 7 p.m. and being joined by senior forward Sam Mearstein. Sam, thanks a lot for your time and challenging start so far. You look at the first 5 games, who's who in non-conference play, and regardless of outcome, this team has been awfully competitive with already 3 losses by 8 points or less. What have you been seeing so far from the Falcons in the first 5 games?
Yeah, definitely a rougher start, but we've played some good competition. We know what we're capable of. We've been turning guys over a lot, which is what we are kind of set out to do. We have been playing, like you said, really tough competition, a ranked team, a couple of teams who have been getting votes for rank. So we definitely have a tough schedule, but we also know what we're capable of. Like you said, 3 games, 8 points or less. So we know we can stick with any team, and we know that the NAC is just a new challenge for us to start coming up tomorrow.
Couple of games I want to point out. The first one took place back on November the 18th, ended up being an overtime loss at Carroll University, 91-86. You look back at that loss to the Pioneers. In your opinion, what was the difference?
We just had a couple turnovers later in the game. We were rolling in the first half. We had a couple foul issues, but towards the end of the game, we just had a couple costly turnovers, and they hit their shots when they needed to, and we didn't. So that was definitely a tough one to swallow. But if that ever happens again, we know it's not going to be the same outcome.
Ended up being like a 3-point shooting contest as well, with a combined 21 3-pointers knocked down in that contest. Let's go back to Friday, too, for a split moment. You guys ended up losing to the 10th-ranked Kelvin squad that was in Michigan. The final score is 73-65, but how big of a confidence booster can a game like that be, knowing that, hey, you can hang with, in this case, a top 10 team in the nation?
Yeah, for sure. We were definitely coming out of that game knowing what we were capable of. They're a very good team, very big, physical. I mean, I don't think they started anybody under 6'3", and they went all the way up to 6'10". So definitely like a confidence booster to get us going into this NAC season. Not many of our NAC schools start 6'3" through 6'10". So if we know we can hang with those guys, we know we have a very good chance with everybody else.
Let's take a look at the roster breakdown. A roster of 28 on the men's basketball squad here this winter, with 13 freshmen, 5 sophomores, 3 juniors to go along with 7 seniors. When you look at this makeup, is this a young team? Is there a blend of youth and experience?
I think there's a little bit of both. We do play a couple of younger guys, but I think that their basketball IQ is good enough to play with us and know what's going on at the college level. I think our 7 seniors are very helpful and are very good leaders to bring them along, and we've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, Gabe and Freeman have been here for 5 years in this program. Zeke Hans, he's been here for 4. So, like, everybody is doing what they need to do. They're bringing people along with them, which is great. And I think just the experience is there. The leadership is there. Now we just got to put everything together.
And with some of those new faces, how has the chemistry developed, especially when you look at these first 5 games, getting the opportunity to spend a lot of time together since you guys have been on the road for the first 5?
Right, yeah. Five away games would do that to you. Definitely spent a lot of time together. We've had hotel trips, and, I mean, we've had 2 overnights, so that helps your chemistry a lot. And then also I think just, like, the close losses really bring people together more, just because you're like, okay, we can do this, we can do this. So just stuff like that is bringing us closer and closer every day, and I think our bond is becoming stronger every single day.
Certainly this can change as the season goes on and more games take place, but through 5 games, what do you think might be the strengths of this team?
Our strengths are definitely our defense. We are only giving up a certain amount of points, which is really good. We do have some good size. Like I said, good leadership. I mean, we're starting 4 seniors right now, so that helps us tremendously. But just like knowing each other, I think, is a good one. All 4 of us seniors have been playing together for a while now, and just doing that and then bringing along the other people who are coming off the bench. I mean, we know how to play, and we're ready to get going.
Let me ask you about, and you mentioned the other seniors. What's it like to play alongside guys like Gabe Pruss, along with Freeman Jackson? As you mentioned, they've been with this program for what feels like forever, but in reality, about 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing with them both. Obviously, we think we got one of the best bigs in the nation right now in Gabe. He can do it all. He can pass, score, whatever you need him to do, he'll do. And then Freeman, he's just an attacker. You know, he knows what to do. He knows how to get buckets when we need to get buckets. And then just like knowing how to play with them is just amazing. In practice and games, like we kind of know what we want to do and where we're going to cut and where we're going to be. So it's just amazing playing with them.
How about for you entering this year's senior season? What was your focus during the offseason? What aspects of your game did you really focus in on?
Yeah, so I focused more on attacking to the rim, weight training, just getting downhill more. I have been shooting the ball real well in my college career.
Okay.
But I like having talked with coaches. They said, let's get you downhill. Let's get you going a little bit. Maybe the threes will fall, and that's what's been happening. I've been attacking more, getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, and then the threes are falling like they're saying.
Yeah, a couple of 20-plus point performances already, which includes a 29-point showing at Loris. He had 23 points in that overtime game against Carroll University, brought down 14 rebounds against Kelvin. For the most part now, and obviously, you know, it ebbs and flows, but are you pleased with what you're seeing from yourself here in these first 5 games?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. I definitely think I can do more for the team, just because we haven't won a game yet. But also, it's not really about me. It's about how our team can win. I always tell everybody I'll do whatever it takes for us to win. So if I need to go grab 14 rebounds a game, I will. If I need to score, whatever. But I just want our team to win. That's my main focus. I'm not really into individual accolades, but if we come out with 20 wins, I'll be happy, even if I'm only scoring a point a game.
Well, and the beauty is you have that versatility, that inside, that outside ability, and you mentioned the three-point shot. You've knocked down 6 threes already here on the young season. Has that three-point shot always been a part of your game, or is that something that's developed as of late?
In high school, it was definitely part of my game. Once I got to college, it moved back, like the line moved back a little bit. So I was a little bit like not as good, not as shooting ready. But as my college career has gone on, I think I've put in the time enough to keep shooting and shooting with confidence. I think the biggest thing is just my confidence has gone up a lot this year. But that also starts with the attacking and seeing the ball go through the rim a couple of times and then stepping out and shooting.
You mentioned your confidence has been growing here this season. What do you attribute that to?
Just hard work. I think I'm in the gym all the time, so I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. Also having one of a CUW alums, great Jordan Johnson, in my ear all the time talking to me, that helps it obviously a lot. Him talking about it. And then also just the coaches. They know what I'm capable of. They know the hard work I've put in. So they know how I can play and what I can do.
You mentioned high school when talking about that three-point shot. You're from Green Bay, NEW Lutheran. You set the Green Bay Metro scoring record and eventually finishing your career with 1,984 points. What does that record mean to you?
It means a lot, especially because I broke it, who wasn't also a Green Bay NEW guy, so I broke his record. So that's kind of more meaningful to me. But it was awesome playing for my dad, playing obviously in front of our fans. We have a great fan base there. But, I mean, it was all about wins for that too. It helps when I play 4 years on varsity to score that much. But, yeah, it was just a great experience. I love what I got to do, and I love playing with my friends back home.
Before we talk about other sports you played at NEW Lutheran from a basketball standpoint, is there a game or two that stand out among the rest from your time there?
Yeah, definitely our sectional final game against my junior year to get to state. We played Columbus Catholic, who's ranked 2 in the state, I think, at that point in Division 5. And I mean, it was a low-scoring game, but when we had to, we had one of my best friends step up and score 17 that game. But that was one of the more fun games I've had. And then the game right before that, the sectional semi game, I think I went for 35 in that game. And again, one of the other guys stepped up. We scored a good amount, and it was just a fun time, good atmosphere.
Now, you played baseball as well, and I read that you were all-conference as a shortstop, all-conference as a catcher. You're a big guy for a catcher. Were you catching before high school? I mean, is that just out of necessity? What's it like to be a catcher? Is it challenging for you?
Yeah, so when I was younger, my dad, my little league team needed a catcher, and my dad stuck me behind there and just said, all right, you're going to catch. He was a catcher when he was younger, so he wanted to get me behind there. My brother catches as well. So every time I'd go and catch at high school, the umpires would be like, wow, you're going to have to bend down for me real low. And I said, I'm going to try. But, yeah, it wasn't too much of a struggle. Obviously, not too many pass balls because I'm such a big body. But the knees are a little sore from that. But other than that, it's good.
And he played soccer as well, goalkeeper, midfielder, goalkeeper as far as the all-conference accolades go. What was your primary position in soccer?
I was all over in soccer. So my freshman year, I started at defense. And then we had a pretty good goalie that year. And then my sophomore year, he was a senior my freshman year. So my sophomore year, they needed a goalie. I said, okay, I can do it. And then my junior year, we got a freshman goalkeeper who was good enough to play. So my coach wanted me back at midfield. And then my senior year, that freshman goalkeeper got hurt with an ACL. So then I had to move back to goalkeeper for that senior year. I think it's just versatile. People just, they ask me what to do. I think that's what happens in basketball, too. Like, you ask me to do something, I'll do it. I think I know everywhere. I think I'm a pretty high IQ sports guy, so it helps to be that.
Now, had you had prior goalkeeping experience?
No, my freshman year of soccer was the first year I ever played soccer in high school. So that was a fun experience. My dad and mom kind of forced me into that sport. They were like, you're going to play a fall sport. It was between football and soccer. And I said, well, I don't really want to get hurt in football.
Sure.
So I'll go play soccer. And soccer is not easy as well. So there's a lot of, stepping on feet, especially in goal. You got to put your body on the line as well. But after freshman year, I kind of just fell in love with it and stuck with it for 4 years. And good thing I did because it turned out to be pretty good.
Absolutely. And eventually you went the UW Platteville route to start your collegiate career and then ended up here at Concordia. How did you end up here as a Falcon?
So when I was kind of making my decision, it was down to Platteville and Concordia. I had a couple of tough decisions to make. Platteville was a little cheaper in the forefront, but after a couple of years, I knew coming back here would probably be a better option for me, and I'm glad I did that because it is a way better option, school, sports, everything. Also, just the family around Concordia is amazing. I've met so many people and so many lifelong friends here. So that's a good thing.
How about for you? What was the biggest adjustment? You go from being one of the top scorers at your high school, at the prep level, to then working your way up the ranks here at Concordia. What was the biggest adjustment going from high school to college basketball?
Yeah, it's a big adjustment. Obviously, the speed and strength of people. When you come into college and you're one of the better high school players, you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to kind of roll through it. And then you realize everybody in college, no matter what division, is the best player at their high school. So now you're playing against best players every single day. But, it's an experience. You got to find different ways to be better than other people. You either got to outwork them, you got to be smarter than them, you got to eat better than them. Just you got to find one way to be better than someone. It's definitely a challenge, but it's also a great experience for everybody.
You've talked about the confidence level here coming into your senior year and how that has, improved or evolved over time. How about just overall? How do you feel that you've grown as a player? How has your role maybe changed, or has it stayed the same in your time as a Falcon?
My role has definitely changed. The first year I was here, I was more of a you're going to go in and defend everybody. I still think I am that guy, but I definitely have to do a little bit more of everything now, which is good with me. But, I mean, it's a good experience. I think I can, like I was saying before, adapt to anything. So if you need me to do anything, I'll go do it for you. I think my IQ has gone up a lot. Just like I think I had a decent IQ, but once getting to college, like you get to watch more film, you get to have more scouting reports on people, and that just helps my game all that more.
And now for the Falcon men's basketball team, they prepare for some NAC-tion. NAC play gets underway. And again, here inside the John Book Fieldhouse Wednesday at 7 o'clock, the home opener against the MSOE Raiders. And then coming up on Saturday at Aurora before next week, a week from tomorrow, December 6th, at WLC against Wisconsin Lutheran. Your thoughts, I guess, down the road ahead as you guys now get into conference play?
Yeah, we're definitely excited. We're definitely ready to go with NAC. We know that we're going to hang with everybody. We know that we want to win every game, obviously. Obviously, we know there's going to be some tough teams. WLC, St. Norbert's are towards the top of the rankings right now. But it doesn't matter. Everybody starts 0-0. The game starts 0-0. We know what we can do. Our defense is ready to go. Our offense is ready to go. Everybody's ready to play, and we're ready to be home finally.
and you know this. I mean, from a NAC standpoint, you just never know. On any given night, anybody can beat anybody. We've seen that over the last couple of years. How about for you? What goals have you set for yourself this season?
Truly, the only one is to win a NAC championship and then to get to the NCAA tournament. We were close my first year here, so 2 years ago. And then last year we were kind of down, not so great. But this year we're looking to turn it around. And if we get a NAC championship, I'll be the happiest person alive.
And then finally, from a academic side, okay, you're a senior. Is this it for you this school year, or do you got another year?
No, this is it. Yep.
This is it. Okay, so what's your major, and what do you hope to do with that major?
So I'm actually in my master's program right now.
Wow.
But I got my major or my undergrad in entrepreneurship and marketing, so I double majored there, and then I'm getting my master's right now in management and operations. So right now I have a job offer to go do something, but also if I can keep playing basketball, I'll keep playing basketball. The biggest thing is I kind of just want to stay around sports.
Sure.
So coaching. My biggest goal is to get like a basketball training facility and start doing that for people. But coaching, whatever it takes to stay in any sport would be good with me.
Well, Sam, all the best to you, not only as far as the future goes, but here in the present with basketball, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Perfect. Thank you.
Again, you can see the Falcon men's basketball team, their home opener, conference opener, MSOE here inside the John Book Fieldhouse tomorrow night with a 7 o'clock tip. When we come back, our focus will shift to men's NCAA Division III hockey. We'll talk with one of their newcomers, in freshman goaltender Blake Hazelton. This is Falcon Focus.
If you could make one wish, any wish, what would it be? Would you wish for more money? A better career? Fame? Or would you use your wish to make a difference in someone else's life? At Concordia University, we believe God intended us to live for something bigger than ourselves, to live boldly, faithfully. And with online programs at Concordia University, we're here to help you do that. Live uncommon.
Welcome back to Falcon Focus, episode number 9 here in season number 5. We're presented as always by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving week as we continue on, and we'll be back with you again next Tuesday to wrap up our first semester of Falcon Focus before we take a winter break. Being joined by one of the newcomers on the men's hockey team, a freshman goaltender in Blake Hazelton, and that's our focus here in this second segment. Let's talk about your hockey background.
All
When did you first start playing hockey and why?
I grew up on a lake with my brother in Lake Orion, Michigan, and it would freeze over in the winter. So I was out there skating when I was 3, and I remember falling over and crying. And so it kind of took off from there, and then we just played house at our local rink. And obviously I play with my brother Preston on the team, so we've kind of always been doing this together, and it just took off from there. So.
And we'll talk about your relationship with Preston now being on the Falcon roster together as we go along. But how about from a goaltending standpoint? When did you start playing that position?
It's actually funny. So I grew up on the wings, obviously. So I remember telling my dad when I had to have been 5 maybe. I said word for word, Dad, I think they have the coolest costumes. So that's kind of how it started. And I remember my first year of organized hockey, the day after Christmas, we had they said anyone who wanted to play goalie could give it a shot. And I was about 5 at the time, and that's all she wrote, and the rest is history. So,
what do you find to be, as a goaltender, the biggest challenge?
I would say just the mental pressure of the game, right? You're either the superhero or the villain. So, but it kind of comes with the job, right? So after 21 years of doing it, you get, well, not 20, but 19, 20 years, you get used to it, right?
Sure.
So I'd say that's the toughest part, just the mental aspect of the game, because it really does. It's just tough to handle at times, but.
How about vision, just seeing the puck? Does that take some getting used to?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into that, but I mean, like I said, a lot of it comes to with just experience. The older you get, the faster the games get. So you got to get faster and better at what you do. So it can be tough at times, right? And we're not perfect at it, right? Because I mean, if we were, we'd never get scored on. But that's obviously not the case, right?
So growing up, obviously around the sport of hockey in Michigan. Favorite team, maybe it's still true to this day, but who's your favorite hockey team, maybe your favorite hockey player?
Well, for me, obviously the Detroit Red Wings were my favorite NHL team. And then favorite player, probably had to be Chris Osgood. He was the starter goalie for the Wings back in the 2000s a lot. So that was really someone that I came up on, along with Jimmy Howard too. Another goalie I like right now is Soros, because I'm a smaller guy naturally, and he's the shortest goalie in the NHL. So it's just nice to see somebody that is up there at that level competing and is about my height, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of an inspiration. So
going back to your high school days,
Yeah.
I read that you were your class president.
Yes, yeah, I was.
So what responsibilities come with being a class president?
Class president. Well, I got voted in by my peers, so that was.
So you
really,
won an election.
Yeah, I did
There
win
you
an
go.
election. So yeah, that was. But that was thanks to them. I had a great group of guys with me. I went to an all boys high school.
Okay.
So it was kind of just I led a lot of organized things like prom and different football game events and Spirit Week, things like that. But it wasn't really a pressure-filled position. I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, it was great just to because it was my way of not only being a part of the student body, but also giving back to them. Because like I said, I had a great group of guys, and they were really good to me, and I still keep in touch with most of those guys. So. Yeah, it was special for me.
So now that you've graduated and moved on, your responsibility is done, or are you still in charge of a class reunion down the road?
Yeah, so there is actually a handful of guys that are on the student council that when it comes, we're going to get an email in the near future about setting something up, and I'm really excited for that because a lot of those guys are super close to me still, and yeah, I'm excited to get back to that. So,
and outside of being the class president, also playing the sport of lacrosse and hockey, what memories, highlights maybe stand out from your time at the prep level?
A huge win against. We had one win. I was my junior year, I believe, against Brighton, who was still is one of usually the top high schools in Michigan, and we had an overtime win. I think we won 3-2. My buddy Matt Kufel scored the overtime. I'll never forget that. That was a huge packed game, and that was a lot of fun for me. So that's probably my most memorable highlight from my prep hockey career there.
So as you're growing up, was the thought process always say I'm going to play hockey at the college level, maybe beyond?
Yeah, I mean they always say anything beyond college is kind of extra. So whether that be pro, semi-pro, anything like that, or there's leagues in Europe even, that would be great. But that's always extra. The main goal was always just to play college, and to play NCAA is something special, obviously, right? And playing with my brother is huge because I really didn't get that full opportunity since I was like, I don't know, maybe 10 playing mini mite. So this is just really a special like opportunity for me to be here at Concordia and play with him and get to share that experience. So I never sure I was going to land exactly, but it was always in the back of my mind that that's where I wanted to go.
And prior to coming to Concordia, you had a stop in the USPHL with the New York Aviators.
Yeah.
How did that opportunity come about?
So a good someone that I knew, our family knew, had known one of the coaches at the Aviators, and Mike Stanaway, great guy, great coach. I don't think I'd be here without him. And my previous season, he watched some film on me, so they took a chance on me, and it turned out working really well. I had a fairly good season and good enough to make it here, so I'm happy with that. And it was fun. I lived in Brooklyn, so that was quite the experience. I met some really good friends there too, who I still keep in touch with, and I had a great time.
Was that really your first opportunity away from home for any length of time?
No. So the year before, I was in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, for a team, and that was my rookie season and juniors. It was. Both years were a grind, just physically, mentally, being away from home and nonstop every day. So, I'm here now, right? So
Absolutely.
I'm happy with that.
How does that level of competition compare or differ from NCAA competition?
My best way to explain it, and I've had people ask this before, would just be, when you're playing at that level, you got a couple guys on each team who are really talented, and they're probably going to go somewhere else after, and there are always threats on the ice. But then you have those guys who are out there kind of just not quite as a threat. But when you're here now, everybody here was those guys who were always a threat on the ice. So now everybody out here is a threat, and the pace is just faster, right? Everyone's just that much better. So you got to get that much better, and that's what I'm finding is that I just gotta pick up to the pace and better myself fundamentally, you know what I mean, just to keep up.
And I read when you were playing with the New York Aviators in 10 games, you went 10-0.
Yeah,
I
did.
You had a 2.07 goals against average, a 93 save percentage. How big of a confidence booster was that? And what worked for you in that stop?
Honestly, it was I you know what? I didn't even really pay attention to that at the time, just because I didn't want it to stress me out or anything like that. So it didn't really hit me even until after the season. I was like, wow, I went undefeated. So that was big for me. Definitely a confidence booster. And it was really just about trying to stay calm and clutch in the game, not letting it get too big or too little, just trying to stay even keeled mentally and just believing in myself, right? I think that's a huge part of sports is the confidence level. And I remember seeing somewhere it said, you believed in Santa for how many years, right? You can definitely believe in yourself for one game. So
absolutely. And your brother Preston, you mentioned, you referenced, he's also on the Falcon hockey team.
Yes.
So as you were moving on now and looking at the possibility of playing college hockey, how big of an influence did he have in your decision to come here to Concordia?
Well, yeah, obviously it's my big brother, right? So ever since we were little, I've always looked up to him in that aspect, is what he's done sports-wise and physically, and he's been a huge motivator for me on and off the ice. We work out together in the summers with the same personal trainer we always have, Mike Knight. So, he's great. Obviously it was helpful having him here because I had a little bit of an insight on Concordia and how they ran and the team and everything like that. So, I owe a lot of credit to him and definitely a big booster out of why I came here. So
how enjoyable has it been the first few months now being on the same team?
Yeah, like I said, it's great. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like being here with him and playing NCAA, and it's something special. And getting to share that experience, not only now but like down the road, the memories is something I'm pretty happy about.
And so far, your brother with 1 goal and 1 assist down the season. How about for you? You made your Falcon debut at Lawrence on the 17th of November. Got the opportunity to play 25 minutes, 21 seconds, made 16 saves. Is that tough? Obviously used to starting games, the game's 0-0. Now you come into this game, there's already a score.
Yeah.
Does that change the mindset at all?
I mean, obviously that I don't want to make excuses here, but
Sure.
like, coming in like that off the bat, it is definitely more difficult than coming in when you're fresh or warmed up right off of warm-ups, right? But that's the thing about I'm the freshman, right? So I haven't been playing every game starting, right? But that's my job, is to stay ready in case something like that happens, right? So I'm just happy that. Every game, I come in whether I'm playing or not, I still keep the same mental focus. I still keep the same preparation. I was a little nervous, if I'll admit, but I was just trying to live the moment and just enjoy it. We didn't get the result we wanted. I didn't do as well as I wanted to do, but you know what? You take it for what it is, and you grow and you get better. So.
You talk about the nerves a little bit, okay, as you make save 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Does the confidence grow and you start to get into that, comfort level where it's like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before.
Yeah, absolutely. So, once I start getting some shots and feeling myself in the net, it gets a little easier. I would say that for me in that personal experience, the pressure was there all the way through, but yeah, it definitely, once I start getting my flow, it does get a little bit easier as the game goes on, for sure.
And obviously right now as a freshman, you're working your way up and getting more and hope to get more and more playing time as the season progresses and so forth. But what's it like to play alongside a guy like Gabe Rosick and battle with him in practice? And what have you seen from him?
Yeah, Gabe is a great goalie. And I was telling Coach Masso beginning of the season that both him and Garva, they do a great job at not only like being mentors on and off the ice, but they're just great guys in general. So it definitely helps having goalie partners that are there to boost you rather than, just trying to tear you down. And everyone's trying to. It can get toxic if everyone's trying to get that starting position. But they do a great job on and off the ice at mentoring me and being there for me when I need it. In a play aspect, Gabe's been playing incredibly well this season. I thought he's made some huge saves and some big games for us. So a great goalie all around.
And right now, as a team, the Falcons with 3 victories, 4 defeats, getting ready for a big weekend against, as of right now, it'll be updated as the day goes on, but third-ranked Adrian coming up on Friday and Saturday, and then back home before the winter break, a week from Friday, and Saturday, December 8th and December 9th against Gustavus Adolphus. I guess from your perspective, 7 games into the season, what are you seeing from the team? How do you think the team's playing right now?
We're a hard-nosed team. We're not the most talented team, but that's not what we do, right? That we're getting the corners. We're not scared to play in the corners. We're not scared to hit. We're a hard-working team. We're very detail-oriented, and the coaches, Coach Masso, Coach Jose, Coach Nate, they do a great job at that, instilling that on us. So. It's a road of ups and downs, but I think our whole team has an optimistic outlook, and we're ready for whoever. I think we're pretty excited. So,
how much fun is it to watch a guy like Derek Humphreys, who so far at 7 games has 5 goals, a couple of assists, and I got to believe from a goaltending mindset, he's a delight because he certainly helps you and it gives you guys a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah, it's great. Some of those guys are incredible out there. Like when you watch them, you really don't have the appreciation that the work they put in and just how talented they are to do that, especially at this level. So those guys are a great confidence boost to our team, and they do a great job out there.
Outside of hockey, a couple of interests you have, MMA, for instance, MMA training.
Yeah.
Tell us about your interest in MMA.
So it started, my dad wanted to get my brother and I into jiu-jitsu. And we did that when I was I think I was 17, P was 18, or I was 18 and P was 19. Anyway, we started with that, and I just fell in love with it right away. I had a great time doing it. And then I really got into striking. I met some guys who are pros in the sport now, and they're great friends of mine. And they took my love for the sport to a next level too. And it's just something that, besides hockey on my off season, that I just really enjoy doing. Keeps me loose, keeps me confident, and yeah, I love it.
And then photography also interest.
Yeah, I love videography and photography. It's just something that I got into on my own, really. It's never something that anybody walked me through, or everything that I've done so far or been into has kind of been on my own. And I think there's a lot of, I can capture moments in it that I can't without, I just like to capture special moments for me and others, so.
I was going to say, is there anything in particular, like like to capture or take photos of?
Well, the big thing is the MMA. Like I really like I got some buddies who are pro in it, and I do a lot of stuff for them just for like their promotion, for them to put out on social media. So I enjoy shooting that. Really, I think that's the most I've shot is the MMA and stuff like that. Just seems easier for me.
So somewhere down the road, way down the road when hockey's all said and done, is that a potential career path maybe you could?
Yeah, right. You never know. I mean, I would have never guessed. If you would have told me I would have been here, 6-7 years ago, I would have told you to get out of here. Right. So, you never know. Life's a weird thing. So it could be for sure.
To wrap it all up with again the hockey mindset here for you, what's the mindset? What are the goals you have for yourself at least this first college season?
Yeah, I just want to see a lot of development myself, mentally, physically. To me, this is a season where I can focus on bettering my fundamentals, getting used to the rhythm of things, and then next season coming out and really do something special, especially for my brother. That's what I want to do too. And I see how hard he works on and off the ice, and that really pushes me. So whatever I can do to benefit the team, that's kind of what I'm looking at here.
Well, great stuff, Blake.
Yeah,
appreciate the time.
Thank you so
again,
much.
we'll see you coming up after this weekend at Adrian. You can see the Falcon men's hockey team at the Ozaki Ice Center December 8th and December 9th against Gus Davis Adolphus. Thanks to Sam. Thanks to Blake. Thanks to you for watching. We'll do it again next Tuesday at Falcon Focus, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.